in Bath Village. So I love being here. I used to come here as a little boy. And Bath is very good to CCM. And Bath has good people. You hear how many times I said it? Ladies and gentlemen, you know how we do it in the Concerned Citizens Movement. We like to start things off correctly. So let's get started by having a word of prayer, first off. So wherever you are, could you kindly reverence yourself as we go to the Lord in a word of prayer. Almighty God, who created heaven and earth, and who made man in your own image, all honor and glory and power is yours. We come to you this evening humbly, seeking your guidance and your blessing. Dear Lord, wrap us as an island with your hedge of protection. We ask you, Lord, for wisdom and understanding as we go through this election period. Dear Lord, be with our every thought and guide us and guard us as a people, dear Lord. Send your angels to watch over us, dear Lord. We ask these mercies in Jesus' name. Amen. Yes, I was brought up. You know, we are godly people in CCM, you know. We are godly people. We're going to be in Rollins tomorrow evening. And I already have a volunteer to do the prayer tomorrow. To God be the glory. I'll be looking for you early tomorrow night in Rollins. Eric, good night. I was waiting for you. I'm so happy that you're here tonight. Last night, Eric did the honors of cheering and he did a wonderful job. But we don't expect anything less from Eric. Eric has been cheering events in Nevis for the past umpteen years. In fact, when I was a boy and I used to go to sports at Ball Pasture, I always used to admire hearing Eric on the mic. He never missed a call. And you know what? He's still doing it. That's a community man. The Concerned Citizens Movement, we are full of community-minded people, good people. You know, it feels good being here in Bath tonight. We were here a few months ago for the federal election, and it was a different type of feeling. We are a little bit fenced in tonight. And when I came over here a couple days ago to look at the site for the meeting, I smiled to myself because I say we're going to be fenced in tonight, you know, but it's a good thing. Progress is coming here in Bath Village. Real progress. And I want to thank you, the people of Bath Village, for your patience. Because, you know, when you have big road projects such as this, you have to deal with some disruption. You have to deal with a little bit of dust. You have to deal with a lot of things. But the end results makes it all worth it. And you know, the people, the good people of Bath, good night, Shirley. Good night. I could see, you know, even though the light's in my eyes, I could see you. And I love it when I see our people. You know, the good people of Bath have been very kind and very good to the Concerned Citizens Movement. And we know that. And we appreciate it. And so, we have done our best to ensure that Bath Village is well looked after. You know, I feel good standing here, looking at all the walls going up here in Bath Village, and the new road being constructed. I don't like to talk too much about opposition, but you know they're walking around and they're saying, oh, they're doing all kind of walls in Bath, all kind of people who never had a wall getting wall in Bath, all kind of people who never had a fence getting fence in Bath. And I say, why should you begrudge the people of Bath Village the wall or the fence? There's no reason for that. There's no reason for that. The government has come, and in some cases, to get the road widened a little bit, some persons have been asked to give up a little bit of land, a few feet of land, or whatever the case may be. So what is wrong if people compensated with a little wall and a little fence? And I want to say that not a thing is wrong with that. And I hope that everybody along the carriageway, who's eligible would get their wall and get their fence. And the people who vex about that, let it eat them out. And I make no apologies for saying that. You know, sometimes there's too much grudge and bad mind going around. And when we see grudge and bad mind, we have to send that the other way. The CCM does not deal with that. The CCM is all about uplifting people and moving people forward. That is what we are about. We are about looking out for and fighting for you, the hard-working people of Nevis. When you look all around this area in Bath and you see development, it's a concerned citizens movement. It's not anybody else. Once you see development coming to Bath, it's a concerned citizens movement, because the NRP have already said, oh, we're not going over in Bath. Bath is CCM country.
What? This hour?
You know, somebody sent me a clip the other day. And it's a clip of the person running here in St. John's against your good representative and premier, the Honorable Mark Brantley. And the person came over here to Bath and they said, well, they're going to upgrade all the lights and so on the basketball court. And I marveled, because I know that the government has a project that is currently ongoing to do the very same thing. We are taking down all the long-time incandescent bulbs, the bulbs that get really, really hot, and the bulbs that burn a lot of electricity. And we are replacing them with LED bulbs, similar to the ones over at the Mondo track. And so the project is ongoing. So when the good lady would have come to Bath, it was just a case of that the project was ongoing. So all of the sporting facilities around the island will get that upgrade. And that is one of the projects that's being done by your government. Ladies and gentlemen, I know that coming to Bath, we're in friendly territory. Bath has been consistent. And we would ask that you continue to stick and stay with the concerned citizens movement. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a good meeting for you tonight. We have lots of speakers. We have all of our candidates who will be coming to you tonight. I want to move forward with our first speaker for this evening. And you know, we're going to start with ladies first. And our first speaker for this evening, since her introduction into the political arena, she has been setting the whole place ablaze in a good way. You understand? There's a lot of excitement now over in St. Thomas's. People used to walk around and say that St. Thomas's is some sort of safe seat. St. Thomas's is an happy seat. Well, they're not saying it anymore. It's a battleground. And ladies and gentlemen, come the 12th of December, we are going to take that seat. It's going to be all 5 for the Concerned Citizens Movement. So I want to welcome to the platform that dynamic young lady who will be the agent of change in St. Thomas's, and she will bring a lot of change throughout the whole of Nevis. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me to welcome LBJ, Lataya Bianca Jones, to the microphone.
We can clear. Show me your body finger. Show me your body finger. Show me your body finger. Put them up, put them up, put them up. Show me your body finger. Show me your body finger.
Election day, we going all the way with LBJ.
Show me your body finger. Put them up here.
Cut them down. Westbury. Jesseps.
From Quadricode to Bath. Bath Village! CCM is here! Come on, we need more noise than that. We in the sheriff country. Bath Village! CCM is here! I always love it when I come to Bath Village. The last time we were here, we were campaigning for the federal elections. And I must say, Bath is filled with good people. Bath Village is a historic village. Historic. We have the Bath Hotel, Fort Charles, and everyone's favorite, the Bath Stream. Everyone in Nevis, and even St. Kitts come over to go to the Bath Stream because that is where the healing waters are. Well, tonight, we are here in Bath Village to recognize your representative, our leader, the Honorable Mark A.G. Brantley. And I can say a lot of things about Mr. Brantley. Mr. Brantley is a good man. Mr. Brantley is a phenomenal leader. And you know, there are few things that I admire about Mr. Brantley. He's a team player. Yes, he is our leader, but he never leaves us out and he never leaves us behind. He always give praise to his colleagues and he gave recognition to them where it is due. I also admire his strength, because if it is one politician I realize that has constantly been under attack by the opposition since entering politics, is Mark Brantley. But yet still, he continues to perform for the betterment of the people of Bath Village, the entire St. John's Parish, and Nevis. Mark Brantley has changed the dynamics of politics in Nevis. It was Mr. Brantley who stood up to the opposition and said, no, we will not allow you to mistreat the people of this country. We will not allow you to take their names from the voters list and deprive them of their right. It was Mark Brantley and the CCM team who stood up on behalf of the people. When the opposition decided that they were going to target our non-nationals, it was our leader, Mark Brantley, and the CCM team who stood up and said, no, we will fight for you. You too are humans and you too deserve good treatment. Even though you may not be from here, you live here, and we welcome all to the island of Nevis. But you have stood with Mark Brantley since by election. And even in the darkest time, you continue to stay with him. So tonight, I am here to encourage you to continue to stand with Mark Brantley. There is no better representation than Mr. Brantley. There is none. I know the person who's running against him. She was once the biggest CCM supporter. And for reasons which I will not go into tonight, she decided to go over. But she still cannot be compared to Mr. Brantley. When we look around Nevis and we see the accomplishment under his leadership, we must say that we have to support him because the results are there to show. We look at the Mondo track. We look at the CCTV command center, the new treasury building in town, the Newcastle police station. We look at 30 million in water enhancement projects. Don't even get me started on housing. We have so many housing development going on now, and I know people want more, and more will come. Craddock Road, Hamilton, Rices, Garners, all happening at the same time under the leadership of Mark Brantley. And there are so many more things that we can point to, and I know he's going to outline all the others. But Mark Brantley continues to show that he is here to represent the good people of Bath, the good people of St. John's, and the people of Nevis. When I take a drive across this road, this Bath Road, and I did it during the day a few weeks ago, and when I see the young men who are from Bath working on this road, I said, yes, employment for the people of Bath, employment for the young men of Bath. And that is what I've been saying too on my agenda in St. Thomas's. All capital projects in St. Thomas's will see the employment of young men and women in St. Thomas's. You see, when you give someone a job, it's like giving them life. They can provide for themselves. They can put food on their table, clothes on their back. They can make investment that would better their lives of their family. And this is what this CCM government continues to do. Yes, we went through COVID, and it was a difficult time for our country and all nations in this world. But we are seeing improvements. Improvement from 4,000 jobs in 2021 to 5,600. All under the leadership of Mark A.G. Brantley. In terms of job creation, in St. Thomas's, I intend to organize job fairs, liaise with businesses, and organize job fairs so that our people can come out and they can see what jobs are available to them. And in some instances, even though jobs may not be available, then the businesses have their information. They can call them when there is any availability. Training initiatives for women, youth, and men to prepare them for the world of work, resume writing, interview skills, and etiquette training will be done. When I look across the road, I see a shop right in front of me. And I say to myself, everyone knows how I feel about small businesses. And I will continue to lobby for grants for our small businesses. Lower interest rate loans as well. I know CIDU provides that. But if we can go lower, we will go lower. But we want to include grants for our small businesses. We want to provide training for them, in accounting, marketing, customer service, and product development. We want to be able to help our small business improve their operations and to expand. Small businesses, as I have said, are the core of our economy. In St. Thomas's, when it comes to the community center, because I took a walk across to the community center here in Bath, and it is my goal to see life in the community center even in the evenings with different programs. But my goal in St. Thomas's, and it could be throughout the island, is to ensure that our community centers are equipped with computers, printers, libraries, and other learning materials. I want to see more afternoon programs in our community centers. And I was happy when I went across there that I realized there are men over there playing games. It shows that our community centers are being utilized. And I would want more of that in St. Thomas's and throughout the island. When it comes to our fishermen in St. Thomas's, and these are top priorities on my agenda, and I will not be long tonight because I had my turn. I was told I was long in Quadico, but you see the energy, the first time being on the platform, I had some things to say, so I had to say it. But I know there are many to come after me, so I will not be much longer. But for farmers and fishers in St. Thomas's, you are a top priority. And for my meetings with you, I have said that I will try my best to deliver for you. And that is why I intend to have a farmer's boutique, a one-shop area where our farmers can sell their produce. We don't have to leave St. Thomas's to come to town at the market to sell our produce. We have many farmlands right there in Case Bay, Westbury area. And so it is my goal to set up shop so that we can stay there and sell our produce. When it comes to our fishers in my communication to them told me that they have felt left out, and we don't want that at all. So kiosks will be constructed for fishermen for storage and other usage. And a dockyard, they've been asking so much for a dockyard. And it is my goal to deliver that dockyard for them. It is needed for them to secure their boats and to do repairs. I have many more ideas for St. Thomas's. And as we venture on in the campaign, night after night, I will highlight them. I can't highlight all at once. But the message is clear. The people want leadership. Leadership that will deliver for them. And for me, I continue to focus on the plans, not the noise. And I will continue to say it. Because noise will not provide any development for the people of this country. And that is why I said earlier, I admire the strength of Mr. Brantley. Because I have seen the attacks on him, his family. And I kept saying to myself, how low can the opposition go? How low can they go? But time after time, this great party, we continue to send them a message because CCM is not going anywhere anytime soon.
We voted for Mark now. Brantley and the CCM.
This party is here to stay and stay for a long time. Because you see, CCM continues to look at the youth and to empower them. We empower our youth. We don't belittle them. We don't make them feel that they're incompetent. We bring them on board and we help them. So this great party the legacy of this great party will continue. It will continue. I heard on the opposition side that it was said that for this election, the polls say, I don't know which polls, I want to know, say that they will win 3 to 4 seats.
What?
And I look around and I say to myself, but I got to be living in a different land. It can't be I am living in Nevis because I am trying to figure out which seat they're going to win. Because not even the seat that they thought was sure they're going to win. All 5 for CCM. Only brand in town, that's number 1. They ain't going to win that one. I want to count the 3 for them, but let's see if we could count it. Only brand in town, gone clear. 2 is Brantley for sure. He's not going anywhere. 3, oh man, 3. He's loved by everybody. Where is he going? 3 for sure. Oh, in number 4. In number 4, Mr. Jeffers. Mr. Jeffers, we call him the hardest working minister. He's here to stay. And when it comes to number 5, oh, the energy in number 5 has been one we have not seen in the history of politics in Nevis. But number 5 is screaming that we're going all the way with LBJ.
On election day, we going all the way with LBJ.
So help me understand where you count the 3. Anybody could count them? Because I'm here to see where the 3 come from. So tell whoever do the polls and who you pay to do the polls that they rob you of your money. Because come December the 12th, CCM will be back in government and govern this country to the best of our ability. To the people of Bath, thank you for standing behind Premier Brantley time and time again. To the people of Nevis, thank you for standing behind this great CCM party. We will continue to fight for you. We will continue to deliver for you. And on election day, we want you to go out in your numbers and go out early. Go out early and vote for this great CCM party. I did say I will not be long, but I kept the same energy. I will not be long tonight. I have many more to go. Many more to go. But I had to come here. I have to come here to give praise to my leader, the Honorable Mark A.G. Brantley. Thank you, good night, and God bless.
I want Nevis to be a better country. I want my people to have prosperity.
Full of energy.
I will vote for CCM and Mark Brantley.
You know, I want to thank Latoya for that presentation. Latoya is a star in the making. She's full of energy and she makes so much good points. You hear about all the plans that she have, all of the things she wants to do when she get to cabinet to work on behalf of you, the people of Nevis. And you know, she could manage time good too, you know. Because when I check my watch, she right on time. You understand? So I know the future is bright with LBJ. Ladies and gentlemen, and I like the DJ tonight, you know. DJ, play that LBJ tune for us. I'm loving that tune tonight. I hear it for the first time tonight and I like it.
We going all the way with LBJ.
I wish I could sing that song. Not a seat for them. Not a seat for them. And you know what? Some of the big supporters walking around telling people, you know, you make sure come out the vote over in St. Thomas's. CCM done got 4 seats. We don't want them win 5. What? And it look like them are going to win 5. And when they're talking, they sound like they're balling. They don't start to ball yet.
Oh no!
They don't start to ball yet. Because come the 13th, is pure balling they're going to be doing. And you know, Nevis will be so much better for it. Because we would have made the right decision and stayed with the concerned citizens movement. That's the right way to go. That's the only way to go. You know, turning around and going with the NRP is a backward move. And I say it with no water in my mouth. That is sound speech that cannot be condemned and will not be condemned. It's a backward move to go back to NRP. And you know, I will tell you why it's such a backward move. The other day, the government made the decision to clean up, you know, some parts of the main road and started right there in Pan Hill, clean up the side of between the 2 cliffs there. And so the NRP realized between the 2 cliffs clean. So they decided they want to take the opportunity to put up their big billboards between there.
What?
So imagine
Imagine
you leaving Gingerland and you're driving into St. John's. You're coming down the road now to go enter St. John's. You see a big picture of the fella that running in Gingerland for NRP. So imagine, you know, imagine you're heading into St. John's, you're leaving Gingerland, going into St. John's, and they're showing you the picture of the person who running in Gingerland.
What?
And then when you turn it around, so you're coming from Tongwe now, and you're going to Gingerland. So you're leaving St. John's, and you're going into Gingerland. You're seeing the picture of the candidate that's running in St. John's. Who running in St. John's?
Oh,
the good doctor. And when you leave in Gingerland, it's supposed to be one. So they got them backwards. You know? So I looked at it and I said, well, wait. But something is wrong with this thing. But I say, you know, maybe it's me. Maybe it's me. So I say I'm not going to say anything. It's days now I want to come on the platform and talk about this thing. But I say, let me hush my mouth. But, you know, one young lady met me and she said, but try. They ain't put up them billboard there wrong. I noticed when I leave in Gingerland, I see in Rohan. I ain't supposed to be seeing him when I come into Gingerland. And when I leave in St. John's, I see in Pat. I think this thing is wrong. I said, it's the same thing I was thinking too, you know. It's the same thing I was thinking. And then I see a group of people talking, and it's the same thing they're saying. So the whole of Nevis saying that NRP got it wrong. But NRP don't care what Nevis say. They're doing it their way. You understand? And that is why I say to go back to the NRP is a step in the wrong direction. It's a backward step because they do everything backwards. Even putting up billboards. Even putting up billboards. They're doing it wrong. A simple thing. So ladies and gentlemen, when we, the concerned citizens movement, head up to Gingerland, we know where we are going. When we're heading up to Gingerland, we know that it's Eric Evelyn face we're going to be seeing. And so right now, here in Bath Village, I want to invite the Honorable Eric Evelyn, the representative for the good people of Gingerland, to the microphone to address you. Eric Evelyn.
With the big blue machine.
Everything we do is a bad day. Now mix we up in the drama day. You see that next team a scammer them. Look how easy we go hammer
Good night. Good night to the sheriff country. And we know this is a very, very famous spot for the sheriff. The only sheriff in town, the Honorable Dr. Mark A.G. Brantley. And you know, try, you know why they got it backward? You know why they're so confused? Because anytime you're coming up to Gingerland, you know, only blowers are show up there. So that is why they are so confused heading up to my constituency of St. George, Gingerland. But ladies and gentlemen, good night. And it's good to be here in the metropolis of Bath, as your representative normally say. It's always good to be in CCM territory, or as we call it, CCM country. And we know that when we get to Bath Village has always stood tall with the Honorable Mark A.G. Brantley. We know normally, once the ballots are counted, once we hear Bath Village, we know where Bath Village has stood and will always stand. And you know why Bath Village will always stand with the Premier, the Honorable Mark Brantley? Because the Premier, the Sheriff, has always stood with the people of Bath Village. He has stood with all the people of Nevis, but he has always stood tall and very tall with the people of Bath. We are here tonight, ladies and gentlemen, and of course, the time is drawing nigh. D-Day is almost upon us. Today is the second day of December. So it's just another 10 more days to go. 10 more days. And so we are counting down the time when your CCM team will be re-elected in a landslide.
Increase the momentum. Increase the momentum.
Yes, we will be re-elected in a landslide to govern the affairs of Nevis. And you know why the people of Nevis and why the people of Bath will continue to vote for the CCM? And why the people of Bath will continue to vote for Mark A.G. Brantley? Because Mark A.G. Brantley has been a phenomenal leader. A phenomenal leader. Since he took over the reins of the party and the reins of the government here on the island of Nevis, he has done an exceptional job as the Premier. An exceptional job. And when we listen to Mark A.G. Brantley, and when we realize what he has done for this beautiful small island of Nevis, and when we compare Mark A.G. Brantley to any leader in the Caribbean, Mark A.G. Brantley can stand head and shoulders above many or all of them.
We voted for Mark now.
Ladies and gentlemen, we know, we are all aware that we have gone through a very tough time with the COVID-19 pandemic. And guess what? Your representative, our leader, our Premier, has managed the country, the island of Nevis, so well that I believe Nevis, the management of the island of Nevis, was the absolute best in the region. Of course, when COVID came, we had no playbook about COVID. We had absolutely no experience as to how to manage during a pandemic. But the Premier and his cabinet colleagues, we were there morning, noon, and night to ensure that the island of Nevis stood above water where COVID-19 is concerned. What Mark Brantley did as the leader and your representative, no other leader in the region did that. He forego his salary for almost 2 years. Where else in the world you ever hear anything like that? Where else in the world have you ever heard a leader giving up his salary for almost 2 years? And that wasn't all, because the leader gave up his salary and he encouraged us as cabinet members to take a cut in our salary. And we all agreed. A phenomenal leader is the Honorable Mark A.G. Brantley. And so, through this pandemic, we, the island of Nevis, we came out with flying colors. Flying colors. And of course, we've heard it over and over and over again, that all civil servants and all persons on statutory boards and statutory corporations received their pay, their full pay, every month of the pandemic, because of the astute leadership of Mark A.G. Brantley and his excellent cabinet that he leads. Ladies and gentlemen, even during the pandemic, we have seen so much development on the island of Nevis. So much. And we are witnessing it right here in Bath Village. Very soon, the people of Bath will have their brand new road. Of course, the Honorable Spencer Brand is the Minister of Roads, the Minister of Communications. But the fact is, the Premier is the one who has the final say in the cabinet. Well, we do it collectively. But he is also the Minister of Finance. And so he has to make sure that he says, yes, we will do this as the Minister of Finance. And so here in Bath, you're going to be getting an excellent road. And during the past 5 years, we have seen so much infrastructural development on the island of Nevis, led by the Honorable Spencer Brand. But the ultimate leader is the Honorable Mark Dr. A.G. Brantley.
You see that next team must them.
And so we must give our leader and your representative credit. Ladies and gentlemen of Bath Village, in the area of healthcare, your leader, your representative, the Senior Minister of Health, we have seen so much development irrespective of what people have to say. We have seen so much development in the healthcare sector. So many new doctors, 2 new ambulances in a short space of time. And I'm sure everybody by now must have heard of our new CT scan machine, which costs over $1 million. All overseen by your sheriff, the Honorable Mark A.G. Brantley. And that is why the people of Bath will continue to stand with Mark A.G. Brantley. That is why you will continue to stick with him. They have all kind of things to say about the hospital. But you've heard our hospital, the wing that is being built is 2.5 size of the current facility. And that is no easy feat. And so it is a massive undertaking, ladies and gentlemen, overseen by your CCM-led administration, your caring administration, and your caring leader, your visionary leader, the Honorable Mark A.G. Brantley. And so healthcare on the island of Nevis is going to another level, thanks to your team, led by the Honorable Mark A.G. Brantley. Ladies and gentlemen, night after night, we are hearing about the housing revolution taking place on the island of Nevis. The quality of houses we are seeing across the landscape of Nevis have never been seen by any government in the region. Let me say that again. The quality of houses we are seeing that are being constructed on the island of Nevis, the best by far, by any government in the region. And that deserves credit. Of course, the Honorable Alexis Jeffers, he is leading the charge. But here again, ladies and gentlemen, who is the leader? The Honorable Mark A.G. Brantley. And we must give him credit. Numerous persons across the island are able to shake their own keys, to enter their own homes. And you know, here in Nevis, we are a proud people. And people like to be in their own homes. And this is all being done by your caring administration.
We voted for Mark now. We voted for Mark now.
Ladies and gentlemen, as I said, there's so much being done on the island of Nevis. We know that over the years, we have been plagued with the issue of crime and violence. And thank God, under your CCM administration, under your representative, under your leader, we have seen a tremendous drop in the level of crime on the island of Nevis, and we are very thankful to the Almighty. I'm sure everybody knows about the development and the rolling out of the CCTV program here on the island of Nevis. The brand new command center in the heart of Charlestown. Of course, we would have gotten some assistance from the Taiwanese government. But who would have made the representation, ladies and gentlemen? Your sheriff, Dr. Mark A.G. Brantley. And so, nowadays, ladies and gentlemen, people can feel a little bit more comfortable when they walk the streets of Charlestown and when they walk the streets of Nevis. You have a caring government. And that is why we continue to say that our mantra is people matter most. And for your CCM, people will always matter most. And so all of what we do, the people, you the people of Bath, you the people of Nevis, you the nationals and residents of this beautiful island, you always come first. And so when we sit in cabinet, when we come up with our policies, it's geared towards your empowerment. Ladies and gentlemen, as I talk about policy, under your caring leader, under your caring administration, we have formulated policies during the pandemic, which has seen dividends. When we look at the construction sector here on the island of Nevis, ladies and gentlemen, when we look at the construction sector, unprecedented development again. Numerous construction sites all across Nevis. Why? Because your administration, we have created the environment. We have created the policies to ensure that the construction industry continues to thrive and continues to do well. And so, as LBJ rightly said, the CCM is not going anywhere anytime soon.
CCM and Tim, we sharing hammer them.
Of course, we know that we are just getting out of the grip of COVID-19. But the good thing, because of the management of your administration, we are way ahead of many of the islands in the region. Way ahead. Our recovery looks good. The tourism sector is booming again. And of course, the season is looking good as well under your caring administration. And that is why the people of Bath Village, you need to stick with Mark Brantley. You need to stick with your CCM administration. And so, the time is coming, ladies and gentlemen, when you will get that opportunity. You will get that opportunity. And so come the 12th of December, in Constituency 1, Spencer Brand, Spencer Brand is the man, the only brand in town. Rolling up to constituency 2, we are in Sheriff country. And we know what the people of constituency 2 will say. We are sticking with Mark A.G. Bradley. I don't even have to talk about my constituency, number 3. Because the people up there know the love that I have for them, and I know the love that they have for me. And so it gone clear in Gingerland long time. And over in Nevis 4, St. James, the hard-working minister who always roll up his sleeve to get on the ground, the people of St. James sticking with Alexis Jeffers. And we will be welcoming the newest member of parliament, the newest member of cabinet, LBJ all the way in number 5. Ladies and gentlemen, we are counting on your support. People of Bath Village, go out early, go out in your numbers, re-elect Mark A.G. Bradley, re-elect CCM, all 5 for we. God bless you, thank you, and have a good night.
Show me your 14 finger. Show me your 14 finger. Show me your 14 finger. Put them up, put them up.
I see next side. Are you gonna try and lose? I see next side. Are you gonna try and lose? I see next side. Are you gonna try and lose? I see next side.
Are you gonna try and lose?
Rolling with the beat.
Blue Machine.
Sticking with the beat.
Thank you very much, Eric Evelyn. We're so full of energy here in Bath Village tonight. You know, it feels good being here. Hey, Eric, you know, when we go to Gingerland, forward. When I went over by the shop, somebody tell me the reason why they put up the thing backward is because Rohan running out of Gingerland and Pat running out of St. John's. And I believe so. You know, ladies and gentlemen, we are moving right along. Such a good time to be here in Nevis. Eric spoke about so many things. That CT scan is not something that we could take for granted. It is a giant leap forward for healthcare here at Nevis. And not just here in Nevis, in the Federation and in all of the surrounding islands. You see, the CT scan takes a lot of the guesswork out of what the doctors do, out of the diagnosis and so on. So when you go and you have your CT scan done and it scans your whole body and the experts look at it, they could tell you what's going on in your body, things that might be wrong and you're not realizing, you're not feeling any pain, but the scan sees that. And so it's a giant leap forward for healthcare right here on the island of Nevis. And it is your CCM government who is bringing that to you. Now mind what you hear them in the opposition saying. They wish they could have bring CT scan. They wish they could have do it. And you know, it's jealousy. It's jealousy on their part. But we have to keep moving forward with the Concerned Citizens Movement. We are a party that performs for the people of Nevis. We are a party that stands up for the people of Nevis. We are a party that put the people of Nevis first at all times. We keep saying that people matter most. So we are asking you to hold with us, keep the momentum with us, and let us continue moving forward. You know, Bath is in St. John's, but a lot of people when they come to Bath, they say they're in town too. So I want to, and he laughed when I say it, you know. You know, a lot of your champions at CSS, at CPS, sorry, that we like to jump up for. They come from right here in Bath, you know. They're from right here in Bath. Over the years, the people of Bath have performed. And so we want to move forward. We want to go straight to the man from number one. We have been saying that there's only one brand in town, and that's the Honorable Spencer Brand. And we are sticking with him. And you see, when we came here tonight and we say we're feeling good because we are all fenced up in here, we all secured in here, we feel good to see all of these walls going up over here in Bath Village. And in just a very short time, we're going to have a brand spanking new carriageway right here in Bath Village. Well, you know who is the man who is directly responsible for doing this project? It's the brand. You understand? The only brand. So, ladies and gentlemen, I want to welcome the man who has been doing a lot of the hard work, a lot of the development that you have seen going on all over the island of Nevis. And you can see some of that development right here in Bath Village. So please, Bath Village, help me to welcome the man for number one, the only brand in town, the Honorable Spencer Brand.
Good evening, good evening, good evening. Thank you very much, Mr. DJ. And thank you very much, Troy, Youth and Libert. Good evening, Bath Village. Let me say a very pleasant good evening to all those who are listening and viewing this meeting here tonight in Bath Village. You know, it's good to be in Bath Village. Bath Village holds a special place in the hearts of CCM family, because it was right here underneath this tamarind tree. It was right here in St. John's when the Honorable Mark Brantley would have launched. And from since that time, we have never looked back, ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, we are here tonight in St. John's. And tonight we are here to champion the cause of the representative of St. John's constituency, the Honorable Mark Brantley. Tonight, ladies and gentlemen, we are here to say to you that in the Honorable Mark Brantley, you have a leader that has the best interest of the island of Nevis at heart. We are here to say to you that in the Honorable Mark Brantley, you have a leader that have been tried and proven that he is capable and competent to lead this island of Nevis. Under the Honorable Mark Brantley's leadership, ladies and gentlemen, we have seen the revolution and the expansion in agriculture here on the island of Nevis, with his Minister of Agriculture, the Honorable Alexis Jeffers. And I'm here to say to you that when the COVID pandemic had the world in this stranglehold, and I remember when we met in those first set of cabinet meetings, it was the Honorable Mark Brantley who tried to calm us, who tried to tell us that, fellas, we can get through this. And he set the bar extremely high, ladies and gentlemen, for us to perform for the people of Nevis. I am here to say to you that we have seen in agriculture, I believe some 30 acres there in the Hanleys Road area, ladies and gentlemen, under cultivation. Because the Honorable Premier would have said to us, if by chance the port of Miami is closed, the people of Nevis must be able to eat and survive. Let me pause for a moment.
On election day, we gonna hammer them. It's only one choice, we vote for CCM. On election day, we gonna bang them. It's only one choice, we vote for CCM.
Thank you, and we are back. We are back. We had a slight mishap earlier, and the emergency services would have performed their task. And I hope and pray that the person who was injured would be well. And I ask you to remember her in our prayers while we ask God divine intervention that she will be well. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back. And I was saying earlier, ladies and gentlemen, that under the leadership of the Honorable Mark Brantley, through the Minister of Agriculture, we have seen significant expansion in agriculture here on the island of Nevis. Because when the COVID pandemic took a stranglehold on the world, the Premier would have said to us, if by chance the port of Miami were to close, the island of Nevis must be able to provide for itself. And I'm saying, ladies and gentlemen, that while the opposition is saying that nothing has happened on the island of Nevis, we have seen a rapid expansion when it comes to agriculture on the island of Nevis under the leadership of the Honorable Mark Brantley. They have said, ladies and gentlemen, that nothing has happened. But under the leadership of Premier Brantley, we have seen the construction of phase 1 of our TVET program at the Gingerland Secondary School. And this TVET program, ladies and gentlemen, will ensure that our young people can get certified in certain skills training. And I believe that that is indeed a quantum leap forward, ladies and gentlemen. Because the reality is, we have a number of tradesmen on the island of Nevis who know their stuff. They are good electricians, good plumbers, good air conditioners. But unfortunately, some of them do not have a piece of paper, ladies and gentlemen. And that TVET program will ensure that they can become certified under the leadership of Vance Amri. Under the leadership of Mark Brantley. I am thinking of one good leader to the other, you know. From one good leader to another. Ladies and gentlemen, under the leadership of Mark Brantley, we have seen the creation of a movie industry on the island of Nevis. We have seen the creation of a movie industry on the island of Nevis. And I am told, ladies and gentlemen, that some of these folks that are working in the movie industry are making a decent salary. But I want to say to them, learn as much as you can learn. I want to say to them, learn as much as you can learn. Because I have a feeling that sooner rather than later, Steven Spielberg will come to Nevis to make movies as well.
We fighting after.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is under the leadership of our Premier, Mark Brantley, through the Minister of Housing, we have seen expansion on the island of Nevis in housing once again. We continue to see, ladies and gentlemen, the quality of these houses throughout the length and breadth of the island of Nevis. We have passed a stage, ladies and gentlemen, of a different time when these housing projects created numerous problems for those homeowners. Recently, under the leadership of Mark Brantley, we remedied a long-standing issue with those houses in Cherry Garden. They have suffered for many years with certain sewage deficiencies, and it was under the leadership of Mark Brantley that we went in and correct those issues, ladies and gentlemen. But yet, they have said nothing has happened. Ladies and gentlemen, under the leadership of Mark Brantley, we have seen the road development in his hometown in Brownhill. And you know, some people walk on that road every day. They drive on it every day. They sit on the sidewalk every day. And yet they say nothing has happened. And I am going to say what I say in Hamilton, that they have become a stranger to the truth. They have become a stranger to the truth. Because I can't understand how big people who want to govern a country, who I believe have 2020 vision, and are seeing things happening right before their very eyes, are coming to the people of Nevis and saying nothing has happened. It means that they are trying to deceive you. It means that they have become a stranger to the truth, ladies and gentlemen. My good friend Eric Evelyn said that they might tell lie. But then we all know that they might tell lie. We all know that they're lying. I was trying to be nice and kind to them, you know. I was trying to be nice to them, you know. I was trying to use some nice language, but the fact of the matter is that they are lying. They are trying to deceive the people of Nevis, and they are lying to the people of Nevis. And I'm saying to the people of Nevis, if they are going to lie to you to get into government, if by chance they were to get into government, I don't believe that they are going to change. They are going to lie to you as well. So I'm saying to you, on the 12th of December, make sure that you keep them far, far, far away from government and vote for the Concerned Citizens Movement Party. Ladies and gentlemen, under the leadership of Mark Brantley, we have seen the construction of the second phase of the Island Main Road from Cliff Dwellers all the way over to Nisbets. And they have said that nothing is happening. We all know the condition of that road for many years. And you know, there was a particular fella, the Premier have a name for him, but I won't use his name. That's the Premier tagline for him. The Premier have a name for him. You said so, not me. You said it, not me. But you know, the thing what upset me, you know, before 2006, that gentleman, he went on the radio and he cussed about that road from in Catesby, in Nelson Spring area. He cussed about it for years. And they have had 5 years and 18 null and void months. And they never even put 1 inch of asphalt to solve that problem. Never did. And I'm saying to you, you can't take these people seriously. You can't take them serious. They're not serious about building Nevis. The Concerned Citizens Movement Party come to government, and when we see a problem, we fix the problem. We come to government and we fix problems whenever we see it. Now, ladies and gentlemen, the Island Main Road is now ongoing. And they are saying that nothing is happening. I don't understand how all of the... And I had a problem this week, you know. My guys at Public Works called me and said, the boss, we have a problem. I said, what happened? So we paving using all of the trucks and they can't find a truck. And I said, well, it may not be such a problem, you know. It means that there is activity in the country that the truckers can now pick and choose again. And I'm saying to you that that is what I want to hear. Those are the kind of good problems that we must have in the country. When our truckers and our heavy equipment operators are busy, that means that we are seeing progress in the island of Nevis, ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, they have said nothing is happening in the country. But under the leadership of Premier Brantley, we have seen expansion in water storage on the island of Nevis. And they see it going up, they see it every day, they pass it, but yet they say nothing is happening. It means, ladies and gentlemen, that they are lying to you. They are lying to you. And every time they open their mouths, they continue to lie. I am saying to the people of Nevis, forget about those liars. And in your Concerned Citizens Movement Party, you have men and women who you can trust. Ladies and gentlemen, They have said nothing has happened. But look at the Malcolm Gishard Recreational Park. Look at the Malcolm Gishard Recreational Park. And I know that tonight Gish is smiling. Because Gish made a bold proclamation that that area of land must be left for the people of Nevis. And it was under the leadership of Mark Brantley that we have seen the realization of the Malcolm Gishard Recreational Park.
We voted for Mark now. Brantley and the CCS.
And you know the funny thing is, well, not really the funny thing, it's a good thing. Because while they have said nothing is happening, they have gone down there and tried to serve what? Wine and cheese and all kind of thing.
What?
Where's the punches? Oh, yeah.
What?
You know, ladies and gentlemen, I tell you, you can't take these people seriously. 1 minute they are saying nothing is happening, but yet they gone down in this same Malcolm Gishard Recreational Park to serve big people wine, and somebody say, well, punches?
What?
Yeah, they're not serious.
Oh no!
These people are serious? Huh? They can't be serious. And I want the people of Nevis on the 12th of December, don't take them seriously either. Don't take them seriously. Leave them by the wayside. My colleague Eric Evelyn spoke about the CT scan. And I think it was what, today or yesterday, the Premier put up a few pictures of the CT scan. And I say, you know, look at that. One of Philips' latest piece of technology is sitting right here on the island of Nevis. Right here on the island of Nevis. That is a quantum leap, ladies and gentlemen, for healthcare on the island of Nevis. And that happened under the leadership of Mark Brantley. But yet, they have the bold-facedness to tell the people of Nevis that nothing is happening.
What?
Ladies and gentlemen, the Premier is the minister with responsibility for Nevlec. And underneath, under his leadership, we have seen another new Wartzilla generator at Nevlec, costing the country a few $1 million well. And what has that brought to the island of Nevis? That has stabilized the electricity on the island of Nevis. Because this government is serious about development. We can't go and try and attract new hotels, new businesses, and then every minute the electricity is going on and off. That is not good for the island of Nevis. And underneath the leadership of Mark Brantley, we have seen a new Wartzilla generator there at Prospect. And when last you hear electricity going off? When last? It goes off because somebody might run into a pole or something like that, or some kind of mishap, but not because of faulty equipment at Nevlec. And it was underneath his leadership, ladies and gentlemen, we have seen that development.
We voted for Mark now.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have come to Bath Village, and our message is very clear. Our message in Bath Village is very clear. You have invested a lot in the Concerned Citizens Movement Party over the many years. And your representative, the Honorable Mark Brantley, have invested a lot, not only in the people of Bath Village, but in the island of Nevis. And I'm saying to you, to stick with Brantley on the 12th of December. I am saying to you, ladies and gentlemen, on the 12th of December, stick with Eric in Gingerland. I am saying to you, ladies and gentlemen, on the 12th of December, stick with the Honorable Alexis Jeffers in St. James's. And oh, I am saying to St. Thomas's, oh, St. Thomas's, St. Thomas's. St. Thomas's, come home to CCM. Come home to CCM, St. Thomas's. Because in Miss Jones, you can rest assured that you have honest and decent representation in St. Thomas's, ladies and gentlemen. And in St. Paul's, my good friend Alexis tell me, we don't want no rah, 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 rah in St. Paul's. Minister Jeffers said, we don't want no rah, 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 rah in St. Paul's. What we want in St. Paul's and what we will ensure that we will have in St. Paul's will be the only brand in town, ladies and gentlemen. So the whole of Nevis on the 12th of December, ladies and gentlemen. There is only one choice in this election. There must be one choice in this election, ladies and gentlemen. And that must be, and that should be, the Concerned Citizens Movement Party, ladies and gentlemen. My message to you is clear. Vote CCM. It's the best choice for the island of Nevis if we really want to see progress in the island of Nevis. Thank you, good night, and God bless, ladies and gentlemen.
And the next person we have to come to the microphone, of course, they call him the action man all over Nevis. Always full of energy, always moving around. You can always feel him wherever you are because he's a real man of the people. And I hear he have on his jacket tonight. The last time he had on his jacket, he talked for an hour up in church ground. So we in for it tonight. And he got a lot of things to say, you know. A lot of things. Because the opposition would want to go around and tell people how nothing happening in Nevis and how everything is so bad, bad, bad. But it's nonsense they're talking. Because when you listen to us here on the CCM platform, we hear about so many things that have been happening. Spencer spoke about TVET a bit earlier. Eric spoke about the CT scan. These are some big things. The TVET will be really, really good for our technical people. You know, a lot of our people out there, good carpenters, good masons, but they don't have that document to say that they are good, qualified carpenters and masons and plumbers. TVET will change that. So when our people decide to leave Nevis to go anywhere in the world, they can have that certification that they can walk onto any job site and say, here am I, this is my skill, and here is my qualification. And you know what? They can earn top dollar. And so these are some of the things that your CCM government has been doing for the betterment of you, the people of Nevis. Let's move right along, ladies and gentlemen. Please make some noise. DJ, what tune you have there? Cue up. Good. Tune it up, DJ. Yes. Help me to welcome to the microphone the deputy leader of the Concerned Citizens Movement. The man who NRP don't like at all. And you know why they don't like him? Because he gets things done and he continues to work hard for you, the people of Nevis. He is all about working for the people, ladies and gentlemen. Help me to welcome the Honorable Alexis Jeffers to the microphone.
You see that next team must scare them. Look how easy we go hammer them. Everything we do, it's a bother them. Now mix we up in the drama them. You see that next team must scare them. Now if we vote for no losing team. Now if we vote for no losing team. Now if we vote for no green team. Now if we vote for no green team. CCM massive we sharing hammer. CCM massive we sharing hammer. Hammer them. Hammer them. Hammer them. Hammer them.
Thank you very much, DJ. Thank you very much. We're gonna save the bullbud until next week. We're gonna pull out the bullbud next week when the campaign gets to a crescendo, when it's nice and hot. So hold it for next week, DJ. Good night to the people of Bath Village. Well, I believe people are down in the hot springs, people down in the mud, people down by Spotlight, people all over Bath hearing us tonight. And the way this system sound, I could tell you that we are going all the way down to Main Street in Charlestown. And of course, all the way up in Brownhill, I believe we are being heard. Because I want to commend once again the persons who have put the system together. System sound good. My voice still holding up. So it tells me that a wonderful job has been done to put the system together. Thank you very much. And it's good to be in Bath tonight, you know, because earlier this afternoon with the showers, I say, oh Lord, it seemed like we might be washed out in Bath tonight. So I wear my jacket too because I thought it was going to be cold. But it's a really good night here in Bath. The energy is good. The moon is out, and those who are overseas and listening to this broadcast tonight or this meeting, I want to say it is a lovely night here in Bath Village. And Bath Village has always been welcoming to this great CCM party. This is our spot right here next to the tamarind tree here in Bath. And we are here tonight to support Mark Brantley, the leader of this great party, the Concerned Citizens Movement. And every time I come, I reflect on when we started out right here next to the tamarind tree. I hear why I said tamarind tree. We didn't say tamarind, tamran. Tamon. But we started out right here one Saturday evening. I just want to reflect for a moment what happened then. I remembered we came here immediately after the CCM would have lost government in 2006. When we were transitioning as a party from the late Malcolm Gishard, from Lofton Brandy, from Livingston Herbert, and all of those who were there in the party at that time, CCM needed help. CCM turned to Mark Brantley and Alexis Jeffers, and we came here one Saturday night, and Mark Brantley came with a little script in his hand. I came and I talked for about 5 minutes. Brantley came after me and he was reading, and I there sitting down and said to myself, boy, Brantley knows how to do it, you know? Just come up and talk off the cuff. Just talk. But we got better over time, and Brantley got even better. Because that night he came and said, new sheriff is in town. We were concerned about that because there was another sheriff around, but we didn't want our sheriff to be like that. But this is a good sheriff, Mark Brantley. So when we were here that night, he spoke. I want to say to the people of Bath Village, I spoke for 5 minutes, like I said. When I was finished, I went down to the shop there, and a family member of mine told me, Alexis, you have 5 years. 5 years. You're going to be talking for 5 years. And 5 years is a long time. And I felt despondent at that time. I said, boy, that's a long time. But as things would go, many things happened between then and even now. And here we are tonight. Mark Brantley as the Premier of the island of Nevis. Alexis Jeffers as the Deputy Premier, with a cabinet that is doing so many wonderful things for the island of Nevis. So we have come a long way under the leadership of Mark Brantley, the Honorable Van Samri, and the CCM party. But the focus tonight is Mark Brantley. I want to say to you that I feel proud to be the Deputy Premier to Honorable Mark Brantley. I want to say to you that Mark Brantley have demonstrated to the people of Bath Village, to the people of St. John's, the people of Nevis, that he loved this island. He loved the people. And everything he does is people-centered. I want to also say to you that something we all seem to miss. That Mark Brantley is the leader of the Concerned Citizens Movement, the only party at the federal level that would have won 100% of the seats that were available for contest at that time. CCM have 3 seats at the federal level, 100% of the seats here in Nevis. That is a remarkable feat. Tell me which other party in the Federation can boast of that. Some years ago, the Labour Party said they had all 8. Well, Mark Brantley can boast of all 3 at the federal level under his leadership. History that was. And you know, we can now say that moving forward into this local election, Mark Brantley would make history once again as the leader of this great Concerned Citizens Movement party, where he will also win 100% of the seats here on the island of Nevis. And you know why he would win? You know why the CCM will win all 5? And you know what Mark Brantley can put his name down in history? It's because Mark Brantley has demonstrated to the people of Nevis that he's a decent man. He's an honorable man. He's a man when he goes into the international arena, all he thinks about is what he can do and what he can bring back for the people of Nevis. He has brought back scholarships. Every time he sit down and negotiate with any diplomat from any foreign territory, he asks about scholarships and training. But you know, when he come back, you know what he ain't happy say? Oh, that's too far. You shouldn't send our children. And I said to the people of Nevis, the parents here in Bath, in Nevis, all over Nevis, when these opportunities are available to your children, whether it is in Serbia, whether it is in the Republic of China, Taiwan, wherever, Georgia, send them to get the training. It is free. It is free. You see, when they tell you don't send them, they're sending the children to all of the best universities. And Mark Brantley always say, Lord, I beg and I plead for these scholarships. Take them and go and better your lives. Don't let nobody dictate for you. And Mark Brantley, let me tell you something. You know, he always give me a lot of props, and I'm going to give him some. You know, you realize I'm sticking with Mark Brantley tonight. We're sticking with Mark Brantley because all of the negativity that has been said, Mark Brantley has taken a lot of licks in this island. Many others would have just thrown in the towel and said, forget about that. He can do that. He can do that. But there are many reasons why he have chosen not to. And the people of Bath must rally with Mark Brantley because he can be elsewhere. But he has decided to stick with the people of Bath Village. He has decided to stick with the people of St. John's. He has decided to stick with the people of Nevis and even the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis. But I want to say to you that all of the things that you have heard before me that have been accomplished by this government, you have to give Mark Brantley credit for that. He's not a guy who goes around and says the maximum leader. He is what I call himself sometimes, boy, maximum leader. Oh man, all kind of names. These leaders all up and down the Caribbean and throughout the world give themselves some names. Top dog, yes man, that's the one up in Antigua, yes. Nothing like that, because he comes in such a way that sometimes you ask yourself this question.
Well, Mark Brantley is the leader, but he don't stand up and beat his chest. In cabinet, I can tell you, all of us have portfolios. And I don't see Mark Brantley meddling in none of them. Across the waters, we are across there at the federal level. And every single ministry over there, the one who was in charge over there then, who has now been removed, every single ministry interfered in. And that is what we don't want here in Nevis, and that is what Mark Brantley would never do. He has given us the opportunity as ministers to do our job. And when you give people an opportunity to prove themselves and to do their work, you can see the results all up and down Nevis. You can see it all up and down Nevis, whether it's in road construction, whether it is in water, whether it is in housing, whether it is social development, whether it is in infrastructural development. Every single sector you can see. You can see the DNA of Mark Brantley at work. That is Mark Brantley for you. And here in St. John's, you know, I'm going to divert a little bit because he's running against a lady. And I say he's running against a lady because she's a lady. But I want to say to you that that lady worked at the Ministry or Department of Agriculture for many years. When I became the Minister of Agriculture in 2013, I believe she was retired. Was she, Eric?
I believe so.
Well, if she wasn't retired, almost retired. Because I believe he's already 50 then. I think he was 50 then. Yeah. And I will say to you that when people like the lady who Mark Brantley is running against come to you, you must understand that she worked for government. And when she worked for government as a chief vet here on the island of Nevis, never one time did she go to Madden's estate and wrote her name or sign her name in the log or the book over there. What? That she should have done as a chief veterinarian. Instead, she was down there, and all they did when persons came to the veterinary clinic for services that many thought that they were paying the government for, that check was thrown into a window to her. She was in there playing solitaire and games and talking on the phone and doing everything. So see there, pitching in the check. Pitching in the check. Whose name was on the check? Not the Nevis Island administration for sure.
What?
So on the job of the government, listen, you almost shun these people, you know, because they didn't want to work for the government. They come in now to say they want to go into government. What nonsense is that?
What?
They didn't want to work for the government. They were working for themselves as far as I'm concerned. Now they're coming to Bath. Now they're coming to Brownhill. Now they're coming to church come to say, vote for them to get into government. Get into government to empower whom?
What?
To empower themselves, of course. Because the examples are there and it is there to show. Right up there at the veterinary clinic. Show the check in the window. Show the check in the window. Show the check in the window. I wonder how many checks were going in.
Oh, no.
I tell you, so I diverted for a little bit because I hear her said nothing happened in agriculture. Well, nothing happened in agriculture in her eyes because she did nothing when she was there in the Department of Agriculture. All about herself. All about herself. Let me tell you something. I can talk with authority because I'm a hard working man in this island. And once I'm working hard, whoever around me must work hard too. This country needs, or this island needs everybody to put out their effort and energies. So when they come and they come with a clean face thinking that they're so good, don't worry about them. Don't worry about them. Mark Brantley's a hard worker. Sometimes I wonder how the man sleep at night, meaning he's always up and about, doing something, getting something done. During the pandemic, let me tell you something. That is when Mark Brantley showed his true mettle and his true leadership. He asked for help from the opposition. They decided to not join in with him. You know, they wanted him to fail, you know. But if Mark Brantley had failed, the whole of Nevis would have failed. And if the whole of Nevis failed, imagine the difficulties. People would have been dropping like flies in this island. But because of his steady leadership, his hands was on the pulse all the time. It therefore means we are much more resilient island now. We have come out of the pandemic. We are progressing and making this island a better place for every single man, woman, and boy in this island. Everyone. And I am so proud to be associated with the leadership of Mark Brantley. So no matter what they come and say about him, he has done his best as a leader, and he has more to do, because we said that under the leadership of Mark Brantley, we'll see the expansion of the Van Samer International Airport. We'll extend that runway, and we'll have jet parking up there. Fuel will be sold from there, and it will be an area where NASPA can then make some money. Money is made in the aviation industry. And many of them who come talking said they're going to bring flight. Imagine the leader of the NRP says she's going to bring JetBlue to Nevis. Never. Not up the Van Samer International Airport. Anyway, never. Because JetBlue need about 7,000 feet of runway. Can't get that up there. We are saying that we will go and expand that airport to accommodate most of those private jets that land in St. Kitts. And I hear the failed minister, a failed minister who does got a program over there, seems as though he's criticizing the Nevis Island administration for attempting to put in plans together to expand the airport. Well, you got to be a failure to even talk like that anyway. Me no want to spend the time on he. But anything good for Nevis, you know, some of them over there don't like it. But I'll tell you, Mark Brantley, Alexis Jeffers, Eric Evelyn, all of us, Spencer Brand, we want to see Nevis progress to the point where we know we are leaving Nevis better than we would have met it as an administration. So Van Samer would be expanded, that airport on the Mark Brantley. We have also said that we are going over to Long Point Pier, and we'll expand that facility to include a cruise facility, and also where we can use it as a transition point. Sometime in the past the plans were there, but there were difficulties with the infrastructure. We'll improve that. You have heard others before me talk about what is to be done in the future, but these two particular infrastructural development, I do believe, will take Nevis to another level whereby jobs will be created, or taxi operators will make money. The infrastructure will make money as well, because people will come. As they come, they pay. Restaurants and bars and every place here on the island would make money. And that's what we're about. Bringing hope to the people of Nevis under the leadership of Mark Brantley. Not only that, I'll say to you, we'll expand housing. We're seeking for lands here in Bath. Whoever is hearing me and you have a couple acres of land somewhere, talk to me. Let's bring housing here to Bath. We have done some housing here. Just above the mud right there, we did a small project there. But the good thing about housing in various communities, you keep the people there who would have built that community. You want them to stay there, to further build, to have their families, and expand on the community to the point where you can be proud of where you were born and raised. So Bath Village, we want to bring housing to you. Additional housing, that is. Not only additional housing, you have heard Troy Leiber talk about the TVET program. When that facility is open here in Charlestown Secondary School, all of the young men and young women here in Bath Village who want to gain a skill, who want to be certified, I want you to take advantage of it. Remember, I said we want to leave Nevis better than we met it, so we want our people to be better than they are now. Because when it's all said and done, I am a proud Nevisian, and everything about Nevis I want to be proud of. I want to continue to be a proud Nevisian and have that pride. For when I exit this stage, I can live a good life right here on the island of Nevis. We'll all have to do it together. Collectively, we'll make this place one of the best islands in the region. Nevis is a beautiful place, just like the night tonight. Beautiful night. And so, ladies and gentlemen, our simple message to you, tonight is to stick with Mark Brantley. Continue to rally with Mark Brantley. Vote for Mark Brantley and make Mark Brantley that winningest premier. That sounds good. Winningest premier. Some people will be the winningest loser. You know there's such a thing. You can be the winningest loser. You can run election all the time and lose everyone. You are the winningest loser. But Mark Brantley will be the winningest premier. So, my simple message to you tonight, and I said it last night and I'll say it again, and this will be my mantra throughout this campaign until it's done. We cannot If you're, what was it again? Yes. Going back is not the way forward. Let me repeat it. Going back is not the way forward. We cannot go back to the NRP days. We cannot go back to that party that would have seen the destruction of NASPA, the destruction of the Nevis Housing and Land Development Corporation, the destruction of all of the infrastructure here on the island of Nevis. Water was in trouble. Lord of mercy, our finances were in trouble. You remember a permanent secretary went down to St. Kitts and he refuted what the premier then was saying. He said Nevis was broke. We can't go back to that. As a matter of fact, I spoke about Nevis Housing and Land, and Mark Brantley touched it last night. Let me tell you all something. That $27 million, I turned it into EC. It's 10 million. That 27 million EC dollars that was left at Scotiabank as security for those lands up there at Nugent Heights that the NRP walk out, use up, mash it up, and then left it behind for CCM to pay back. Lord, it is causing havoc. It is causing havoc. Persons up there can't even get a title now because that security was removed. That security was spent off, and now the CCM has come, and we have to pay that debt. $10 million US out, 27 million EC dollars. And you know what, the Nevis Housing and Land, much of the difficulties we are facing, every month we have to spend or send $58,000 to Trinidad to pay that debt. So my calculation since 2013 until now, we have spent over 6.9 million Eastern Caribbean dollars to pay a debt where the money was there. The money was sitting down in Scotiabank as security. NRP spend off that. Let them refute anything I'm saying, because I don't come up here to tell a lie and a soul and a thing. And that are the same people who say they want to come back in here. Well, if they come and Nevisions make the mistake, they should mash up the whole of Nevis. They should, and I'm being blunt and I'm being straight. Because once you'd have seen that party at work, once you'd have seen what they have done in government, there's absolutely no way you could go back to NRP. So we have fixed all those things. They mash it up, we fix it. We fixed NASPA. NASPA was voted #1 port in 2004, and they've come back under the CCM. This year they were voted #1 port in the region. Fixing that. We fix NHLDC. You hear us spending all this money paying these debts. We have fixed that as well. Well, they've let them mash it up too. When we got into government, or I could backtrack and say, when the CCM left government in 2006, NEVLEC didn't owe the fuel company nothing. The NIA didn't owe NEVLEC nothing. NEVLEC was a buoyant company, generating revenue, making money, and it was being set up to be a publicly traded company, and NRP come in and mash them up. When we came back in, they owe the fuel company over $7 million. The NIA owe over $11 million. We had to fix all these things. So now you hear about these brand new generators that we got in 2016 and 2021, I think it was. We had to go and invest in those. NRP never buy one generator in this island. CCM would have put that plant up there on a stable path so that we can have electricity tonight. The lights are burning bright in Nevis, thanks to the leadership of Mark Brantley and the CCM party. So why you want to go back to NRP for? You see, they're over on the other side talking, criticizing everything. Everything good that has happened in this island, they criticize. But they want to distract the people so we don't talk about their record in government. They were the worst party ever seen in this government. Worst party, I know you bring a leader. Listen, compare the leader there that they have over there to Mark Brantley. That's all you got to do. Don't even go no further. I ain't going on the slate. I'm not going on the slate. Just compare that leader to Honorable Mark Brantley, and when you're done, when you vote for, that's all you're voting for. You're voting for leadership. Leadership you can trust. Leadership that has guided this island throughout the difficult times. And that's what you're voting for. Mark Brantley against that leader over there. I don't want to call a name because them, they just wake up from a slumber and say, go and vote for them. We're going to vote to them there. Vote for who? Vote for who? Anyway, leave that till we get to St. James. Let's move on. Let's move right along. We are going on live and on radio, so let's keep it good. Let's keep it good. But ladies and gentlemen, I am not the star of the show. I am the co-star. So I want to make sure I exit the stage so the star can come forth. So I, what more? If you bother me, I go on for another 10, you know. But anyway, I have had a good time here tonight. And I brought a simple message to the people of Bath. Bath Village. Mark Brantley comes here. He is with you. He has been among you and he'll continue to be with you. He has never turned his back on you. He has never shunned you. He has done many things here in terms of social programs, domino competition, all that. I don't have to go into all that. He can come and speak for himself. But when it came to this particular project, he was a huge advocate. He said the people of Bath must have the same infrastructural development as Brownhill, as Braziers, as Farms, as Butlers, as Hanley's Road, as every particular place on the island that has a beautiful road and walls and everything. So Mark Brantley has championed your cause right around the cabinet table. And so, ladies and gentlemen, in wrapping up, I'm asking every constituency to go on out and vote. Go on out and vote for the CCM party. In number 1, you're voting for Spencer Brand. He said, give him a chance in 2017. And he said, if you give me a chance, I'll earn the rest. Well, I am here to say to you tonight that Spencer Brand has earned the right to represent you for the next 5 years. And I want to put in this footnote, we don't want no rare, no rara, no way in the government in the Navis. No rare, no rara, you know them kind of people that up and no rare, rara. We don't want that. We want decency. We want decency. When you sleep at night, you don't hear. That didn't sound like a gunshot. Careful, careful DJ, careful DJ, careful DJ, careful DJ. So that is number 1, Spencer Brand. In let's skip number 2 for now, I'll come back. Let's go to number 3 up in Gingerland. The man up there is Eric Evelyn, Lord from the hills of Rollins, down to the foot of the hill down there at Indian Castle. People live in Indian Castle. At least one person is down that side here. But the whole of Gingerland is going to rumble and rally with Eric Evelyn. Eric, come and help me. By 11 o'clock, come over and help all of us. The people of Gingerland know why they're voting for Eric. He has been with them from the time he was a baby. From the time he was a baby until he's now a man. So Eric, you're the man up in Gingerland. Gingerland, nobody should come out of Barnscott and Kinnicky double flip and back flip and end up in Raleigh and say vote. I could go so boy. All of them with a chat up there in Gingerland, none of them want to come up against Eric. They send a sacrificial lamb up there. Anyway, forget about him because he was working for the Department of Agriculture too, you know. Tell him go to work. And when we wrote to him to tell him go to work, he sent in a resignation, tell us, you know, what? But no want to come and say you want to go into government to represent people. What foolishness this and happy bringing to us? Anyway, let's move on. Let's move on. In number 4 is Zook for sure.
Machine, jamming.
In number 4, it is Zook for sure. My name is Alexis Allison Zook Jeffers. So when I say Zook for sure, in number 4, everybody up in St. James knows Zook. The Zook. That's my name. And Lord of mercy, when the votes are tallied, starting from Butlers, go right up to Fountain and down in Newcastle. Oh my goodness, what a glorious day that will be up in number 4. Come the 12th of December. But we're going to go up to number 4 for a meeting or 2 before it's all said and done. But come down to number 5. We've been saying to the people, and let me be quiet and nice and calm about this. We've been saying to the people of Nevis 5, it is time for you to have representation in government. And I will say this, you know, and they would record me because I've said it before. When Joseph Parry lost in 1992. He was in opposition for 14 years. He came back into government as the Premier Minister of Finance, and he went to work immediately, built the roads going up to Jessup and Barnesgate, come down to Cotton Ground and down to back down where he lives there. He did courts in the basketball court, netball court, fix up Cotton Ground play field, did whatever he had to do for his constituency, because he is the representative. And when you hear them say whoever is the representative or whoever is elected to government was work for the whole island, I agree with that. But nobody can tell me that when my constituents call Alexis Jeffers and ask me to do something, I can't go turn to where you go say go over there do it. There are certain matters that must be handled by the representative of a constituency, and that is why I say there's no need to go and vote for the other person over there to send them into opposition. Lataya has come and he said she has rolled up her sleeve. LBJ is going all the way in Nevis fight. That is what she has said to the people of St. Thomas's, and she has demonstrated thus far that she is ready to work. So send the girl to work. Send the lady to work. Send the Queen to work. Send LBJ all the way to the cabinet of the Nevis Island administration. So St. Thomas's, you have work to do out there. We want Lataya with us. We are ready to provide her with the resources to get the work done for you. So come to number 2. Come to number 2. Oh my goodness, Mark Brantley. I have said so many things about Mark Brantley tonight. How much more can I say other than to say to you tonight, St. John's. St. John's. St. John starting down in Cox, going to Burden, Pasha, Brownhill, come down Church Ground, come down into Brownhill, come all the way down into Prospect, Cherry Garden, and all the way down into Bath, Lord. Vote for Mark Brantley. He wants to continue to be your leader. He wants to continue to be your representative. He wants to continue to be the Premier of Nevis, because he has said the work is just started. Young man, 53 years, he's going to be 54 soon. But he's young, he's ready, and he has demonstrated that he wants to work. So, in Bath, are you voting for Mark Brantley? Let me hear you make some noise, people. So, Mark Brantley, you're a clear winner come December 12th. And I've said as I exit, take up your mother, your father, your grandfather, your grandmother, your uncle, your sister, your brother, your cousin, your friend. Take them to the polls come December 12th. We need every single vote in St. John's. Every single vote all up and down Nevis. We want to have a resounding victory. We want to get 100% of the seats to make sure we can continue to work for you. So send me off in style. Bad Village, make some noise as I go. Go out and vote. Early out, we're going to keep NRP out. Thank you very much.
With the big blue machine. Trouble.
Look how easy we go hammer them. Everything we do is a bad them. Now mix we up in the drama them. You see the next team a scare them.
Thank you, Alexis. What can we say about Alexis? Very fiery, full of energy. You know what I take from that presentation? DJ, play a little bit of music, soft. I got a new song. Checks. 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 How you say the checks go? Charity in the air. Charity in the air. Checks. Checks. In the window. Charity in the window. Checks. All right, DJ. I know I couldn't make it as a singer if I tried. But it might sound like a joke, but this thing's serious, you know. This thing is serious. Alexis has told you all there is no reason at all to go backwards. We're going forward with the Concerned Citizens Movement. Forward with Mark Brantley. You know, earlier tonight in the shop, I see this young fellow walk through in a white shirt. You know? Young fella coming through in a white shirt. I do a double take. When I catch myself is Mark. Mark look young, eh? Our Premier look young and ready to go. You understand? And you know, Mark is not no rookie. He has been around. You have seen him at work. he young and experienced. Well, how we gonna want to replace young and experienced with an old rookie? That can't happen. Can't happen. It could never happen here in Nevis. Not once the good people of Bath Village are going to go out and vote on December 12th. We want the whole of Bath to roll out on December 12th. So if in the last elections you did not go to the poll to vote, we're calling on you this time to come out. We want the whole CCM army to come out. We want it to be a landslide victory. When we start up in Cox, we want to win that box in Cox. No more facts. It's right. It's right. It's right. You see, I don't believe that the NRP made any mistake at all when they put up that billboard up to the bottom of Pan Hill. I don't think they made any mistake at all. I believe that the candidate for St. John's well want to run out of St. John's. She didn't make any mistake when she said, I voted for him in the last election. She didn't make any mistake. So while they're going around and they're telling you to come vote for them, they're voting for Mark. They're voting for Mark because they know.
Mind you, of some people. And he has gained the confidence, mind you, of some people. Because I know, and I can share this with you and the audience, I voted for him the last election.
Exactly. So while they're going around telling Nevis people to come vote for them, what are they doing? They're doing the right thing and voting for Mark. They said it themselves. Ladies and gentlemen, we are here in Bath Village tonight, and tomorrow night we go to the heart of Gingerland, right up in Rollins Village. And I want all of you to come to Gingerland with us, to rally with Eric Evelyn. Never mind the NRP candidate in Gingerland. They're facing you when you're heading out to Gingerland, because you know what? They're trying to run out of Gingerland. And this, the NRP candidate for St. John's, when you leave in St. John's, they're facing you. You know why? Because they're trying to run out of St. John's. Because we know that when it comes to elections, that there is only one choice for the people of Nevis. That's the Concerned Citizens Movement. And when it comes to the parish of St. John's, we know that there is only one sheriff in town. Zook said that he announced it right here in Bath Village. It's right here in Bath Village the sheriff thing start. Bath Village, you big. So please, make some noise in Bath. Let me hear you make some noise and help me welcome to the podium tonight our experienced, hard-working premier. He's the people's champion, and he look young, and ready to go for another term. So please help me welcome the Premier of Nevis and the leader of the Concerned Citizens Movement, the Honorable Mark A.G. Brantley.
I want Nevis to be a better country. I want my people to have prosperity. So I will vote for CCM and Mark Brantley.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Good evening to Bath Village. I am happy to be back in Bath, the metropolis of Bath. Because in Bath Village, when you reach Bath, you know that you are in CCM country. I want to start by thanking the people of Bath Village. They have consistently been with the Concerned Citizens Movement. And every time that I have been on a ballot, the people of Bath have been good to me. And so Bath Village, thank you from the bottom of my heart, because it is because of you and the rest of St. John's that I can stand here tonight as your premier. When I listened to Alexis Jeffers, I had to smile. He is right. my first speech on a political platform was right here in Bath. Frightened no till. Frightened. I got my little piece of paper and my hand a shake. And then when I said I was the sheriff, the whole of Bath turned up. And after that, I said, this is the thing for me. Confidence grow. And that is why I am here to say to every young boy and girl in Bath, every young boy and girl in St. John's, every young boy and girl in Nevis, you can grow up to be anything you want to be. Don't let nobody tell you you never do it before. All of us have to start somewhere. And I started here in Bath, and tonight I am standing here as the Premier of the island of Nevis. And I could not have done that without the people of Bath Village. So Bath, thank you. As I listened to my colleagues tonight, all of them took a moment to speak about me and to encourage you to vote for me, and I am grateful to them. Because we are only as good as the weakest link. And I'm here tonight to say to Bath and to say to all of the people listening and viewing online, and everybody in this island of Nevis, those at home and those abroad, that the Concerned Citizens Movement team is rock solid. We don't have no problems in our team. We don't have no dog and cat fight in our team. We are solid because every member of the team knows that they have my fullest support. And I know that I have the fullest support of every member of the CCM team. And that is good leadership. When you recognize that you are a member of a team, that is the best way to lead that team. And that is what we have done. And I want to commend each and every one of them. A lot of them, when they speak, they say that I did a good job through COVID. But I would want to remind them and remind you that it was the cabinet that did a good job. Because we had to sit, we had to consult, we had to organize. And when I went and I said to them, listen, the people of Nevis are suffering. We must lead by example. We must take a pay cut. Not one of them resisted. All of them agreed. And I shall always cherish that moment when the men and women in that cabinet agreed to take a pay cut for 3 months. And I took no pay for 20 months. The only person in the history of this island has ever done that. And not that I didn't need the money, you know, I needed it. But I did it because I wanted to demonstrate to the people of Nevis that I was with them, and that is what a leader does. That is what leadership is about. And ladies and gentlemen, we in this government, despite the challenges, we have achieved some big things. I was up at the hospital today, and I went to see it for myself, the new CT scan. I did not go in. They wanted to put me in, and I said, no. Maybe if they put me in, they're going to find things that I don't want to hear about. So I stayed out. But when I saw this piece of machinery costing over $1 million, and I reflect because Alexis Jeffers said tonight, he said that we are all every day thinking about what we can do. He said about me that he wondered if I sleep. I was actually outside my house, minutes to 5 in the morning. And I said to myself, what can we do? I pick up my phone, I call a man called Patrick Drahi. He answered the phone, hello. I said, where are you? He said, he's in Switzerland. I said, Mr. Drahi, we need some assistance here in Nevis. He said, what do you need? I said, we need a CT scan. He said, consider it done. And I am here to say thank you to Mr. Drahi and the Drahi Foundation. But it required our initiative to reach out to him. And as a consequence, Nevis now stands second only to Grenada in the entire region that has a 128 slice CT scan machine. Brand new, brand new. And when I look at it, I go there today, the technicians are there. You know what they tell me? They have finished the training with those in the radiology department. They say they're leaving Ireland, but they will be available to us throughout. And then Gary Pemberton was there, the administrator of the hospital. You know what Gary tell me? Couple people don't use the machine since yesterday. The machine has already been in use. Then I go onto the ward to see some people. And when I go, I ask for a particular person. They said, no, they have gone down to use the CT scan. And I said, I never thought that in my lifetime I would see that kind of equipment being available to the people of Nevis. Thank God for the Concerned Citizens Movement. When I hear this constant chatter that nothing is happening, I said to myself, Brownhill Road was not touched in over 50 years. We fixed Brownhill Road. Craddock Road was not touched in over 50 years. We fixed Craddock Road. Government Road, we fixed that too. Farms, we fixed that. Braziers, we fixed that. Shaw's Road, we fixed that. Butlers, we fixed that. And Bath Village, I'm here tonight to tell you that when we are done with you, you're going to have some of the best roads on the island of Nevis. I don't tell Spencer, and I don't tell the cabinet, I don't want public works to leave Bath until Bath is done. And when I say Bath is done, I want down the road there done. I want cross by Weber done. I want come up here done. I want when I walk in Bath, nobody thump the toe again. Because Bath Village, you have been good to us, and we will be good to you. We are going to ensure that this Bath Village is transformed. And you know what I like about these projects that the government is doing? The government is ensuring when we do these projects that the people in the community benefit. And I know a lot of young contractors in Bath Village. You all have got a bite. Some of you have done some walls. Some of you have been involved in different ways. But we are spending money and ensuring that the people in Bath get benefit from the construction in Bath. You know how good I felt when a constituent sent me a little video of her young son working with his family, putting up a wall. And you know what she said, the young person said? You know what the little boy said? As long as he lives, he will always know that he helped to build that wall. That is why we say we are building Nevis for us and by us. Doing it for ourselves. Never again will the people of Nevis be told that they're not capable of building infrastructure for Nevis. Bath Village, I know you have been struggling with the dust. You have been struggling because construction takes time. But I spoke to Danny just tonight and I said, Danny, I want to make sure that Bath Road has at least the first coat of asphalt before Christmas. And Danny told me it was already scheduled for the 19th of December. I said, well, he looked to me. He looked to me like Danny and them control the weather. Because them done got date by when the asphalt will be on this road, the 19th of December. Danny, if me tell liar what you tell me. So I hope you listen. Because bad people funny. If they not get the asphalt by the 19th of December, that is the date, Bath Village. And I imagine how this road is going to look when it's done. We have fixed up the walls. You know when we did walls in Brownhill, the boy Hector, House and Land Hector said, we have built Wall Street. Wall Street.
What?
I am saying to you that building the little walls that we have done is compensation to the people whose land we have interfered with. And we have had a good system that we use in Hanley's Road. We use in Brownhill, we use in Butlers, we're using here. That when we interfere with your boundary, we compensate by giving you a wall to enhance your property. And I want them to call Bath Wall Street too. Because Bath Village people deserve the best. And it is the best that you're going to get on this project. I want the youngsters in Bath to know that more work will be done in Bath. And I want you to line up. Line up, because if your food are share, bring your bowl and get your food in your own village. Line up. Me not tell you bring no deep bowl and a long spoon. But bring your bowl, because Bath Village, the government is bringing infrastructural development to Bath. I want when people come home for Christmas, they can recognize Bath. That is what we have sought to do in this island. But you know, it is not just about Bath Road. It is not just about Butlers Road. It is not just about Brownhill and Farms and Braziers. It is not about Hanley's Road. It is also about what we are doing now on the Island Main Road. And I am here to tell you, if you have not taken a drive in St. James lately, the north of the island is being transformed because of Alexis Jeffers. We are a team, and it is being transformed. I drove over there the other day and I couldn't believe how much had already been accomplished. Spencer Brand has been leading the Ministry of Works, and you must give him credit, he and his team, for all of this work that you have seen. You must give he and his team credit for the development in water along the island, because in Bath, we're not just building roads, we're also simultaneously upgrading the water supply. And that will ensure that the people of Bath are in good standing for the next 15, 20 years. That's what the government does, looks ahead, plans ahead, and creates opportunities for our people. Eric Evelyn, they used to call him the mayor of Hanley's Road. They now say he's the mayor of Gingerland. The whole of St. George will be voting for Eric Evelyn. And you know why? You know why I love Eric so much? It's not just because he's my family. I love him because of his humility. I love him because long before politics beckoned to him, he was serving people. And when I campaigned with Eric, I had to take Eric with me to them family that gave me a little trouble. And you hear him say, "Lad, sweetheart, where you going with? I'm the only man in Nevis who so much woman love." But what I like about it is most of the older ladies that love him. He loved the seniors, and the seniors love him. I remember one time we're doing a walkthrough, and Lord, you know, Nevis people sometime when you do house to house, if they got some little vexation, they're not easy, you know. And we're doing the walkthrough, woman come out and she landing and she face push up. He said, "Why be you want?" And Eric said, "Lad, sweetheart, you know, see me." He said, "Me out, Eric." Just like a sushi boiling. That is how Eric is loved by people. And when you love people and people love you, politics easy. And so Eric Evelyn, number 3, that is your country. I tell them all in with Evelyn, that's a miss slogan for him. And Eric Evelyn will be returned as the proud representative of the people of St. George. Imagine, and I just want to make the point here in Bath, you know. They take up a man to run against Eric who can't vote for himself. Take him up from Barnesgut. Kinnicat him over St. Thomas's. Kinnicat him over St. Paul's. Kinnicat him over St. John's. And he land up at Gingerland. They say when the boy land up there, he asks, "Where me there?" confused. And I said to myself, NRP got some people always on radio make noise. Always on radio make noise. They have an opinion on everything. They have a solution for every problem. Everything that happened in the country, they got something to talk about. But I told you all years ago about my brown dog named Buster. And I tell you all, I had a brown dog named Buster. Buster was a mongrel. All that mean Buster not got no pedigree. What you say? That's just how Buster used to bark when he tied. But the minute you let go Buster, under the floor, Buster run. Buster afraid people. And Buster afraid licks. A lot of people bad. Them a bad dog when them tight. But when you tell them, since your man come in the arena, imagine all of the talk. A lot of ginger and man on radio, you know. They got one from Zion. He don't talk till he fast, he drop out. They got one, a little short one that he talk about me all night when they got some program. And with all them talk, them got to go a Barnes gut to get a man to run a Gingerland. Lord of mercy. I want the people of Gingerland to punish NRP. It is an insult to the people of St. George that you're telling me you cannot find a candidate in St. George. And that is why I know Eric safe. Then we go over there to the great parish of St. James. St. James is CCM country. And since the time of Leonard Small and then Gene Harris, Alexis Jeffers took over from the Honorable Gene Harris, and he has led with distinction. You know, Alexis' first election, he wasn't successful. He ran in the federal election in 2010, but he won St. James. He lost in St. Thomas's, but he won St. James. He came back in 2011, and while all the attention was focused on St. John's and the taking off of names, I will remind you all that in 2011 we had a whole embassy operating over in Castle. Tutmun Samamba guy get passport and they take over. What? They took off lots of names in St. James, and still the Honorable Alexis Jeffers won this seat. They can't stop him. They can't stop him. He said they call him Zook, they call him Zucchini. They call him all kind of thing. When he first came out, they say, oh, he's a bulldozer. Me say, boy, Zook, the man I give you some hard word. You know what Zook say? A bulldozer we used to build. Heavy equipment we use on them road here. He come to build Nevis, and that is what the man has been doing. I am saying that the people of St. James, you have an excellent representative in the Honorable Alexis Jeffers. And it's Jeffers to work. You are safe in St. James with the Honorable Alexis Jeffers. And so I am not worried about St. James. And then we get now to the great parish of St. Thomas's. And I am here to tell you that I am so proud that in my lifetime and in the CCM that I am privileged to lead at this point, that St. Thomas's is now a battleground seat. The whole of St. Thomas's turn up, you know. You go over there now. And NRP used to take St. Thomas's and St. Thomas's people for granted. Now hear them, we will defend it at all cost. That is the problem that they have now. Because we bring a young woman from the belly of St. Thomas's to stand for the concerned citizens movement. And she will stand and she will win.
Blue machine, we jamming with the big blue machine.
So that only leaves the sheriff up here in number 2. Y'all recognize that I went from number 1, the only brand in town, to number 3, the man called Evelyn, to number 4, the man called Alexis, to number 5, the woman called LBJ, and she says all the way with LBJ. And then we come now in number 2. Number 2, this is the parish of St. John's. And the parish of St. John's, we have ensured that the parish of St. John's is now CCM country too.
We voted for Aldo. We voted for Aldo. That day at the CCM.
Somebody tell me that the NRP has decided that they're going to give up on St. John's. I got a call tonight, and they say that they have decided that they're going to mobilize all of their resources, and here where they put in their resources. I want you to listen to me now. Because I know one thing about me don't tell lie. They're going to mobilize the resources here where they're going to put them. St. James.
What?
St. Paul's.
What?
And St. Thomas's.
What?
They say, Eric, them not can manage you. They say, Mark, we can't manage you. They say, Latoya, you get trouble over there. We got to put resources. They say, Bran, rah, coming for you. And then them say, over there in St. James, the leader don't know that this is her last dance. And I am telling you, after this election, she will be retired. You know why? While I was in the car, I pull up on my phone the story of Rip Van Winkle. Rip Van Winkle went up in the mountain and sleep for 20 years. He went up as a young man, he come back with gray beard. The same thing with Janice. Janice reached Nevis 20 years ago and nobody ever heard about Janice. Fast asleep. And then all of a sudden, like Rip Van Winkle, Janice wake up. You hear them say? In Nevis now the young people have new terminology. They nobody call you Johnny come lately. They say Janice come lately. Just reach. And all of a sudden, nobody love Nevis more than them. All of a sudden, they know all of the problems that Nevis has. But ask them the question for me. Have you ever sponsored a child in school? Have you ever sponsored a little church outing? Have you ever sponsored even a little community group? They have never involved themselves with anything to do with the island of Nevis. All we know is that Janice arrived in Nevis. She landed. Some say the rubber dinghy she come in on. I am not saying that. But she arrived in Nevis. We don't know because she has refused to tell us what she was running from. It could have been hurricane coming, I don't know. It could have been problems down there, I don't know. But one thing I know, she went on the platform and she said that she was at the height of her career. A very lucrative career. But she came back to Nevis, and while she was in Nevis, there was an investigation. And multiple members of her team were convicted and went to jail. And when you ask what I'm going to jail for, somebody in the crowd say, white collar crime. Not near white collar crime, a thief, that mean. You are the head of a team, and people in the team go in jail or thieving, and nobody must ask you what you knew, when you knew, and how come you reached Nevis when the investigation going on. How come as soon as some people call FBI, I mean fine bone Indian, I mean Federal Bureau of Investigation. How come as soon as the FBI reach, you reach a Nevis? And nobody see you for 20 years. And now you jump up, say you love Nevis people, and nobody must ask you nothing. I am telling you here, leave them people where they be. Leave them where they are. Because they have no love for this island of Nevis. Each and every one of them, you go down the line, they vex about something they didn't get. They are serving some ulterior agenda. You know, when I know I can't trust NRP and anybody in NRP, I always knew it. But when it was confirmed to me, it was the last federal election. The Friday was election day, and they were spending Timothy Harris money. Labour win the election. And by this Sunday, when am I the motorcade? Sunday? The Monday, me go over by the water taxi pier. And the amount of red me see out there, me say, what going on here, Labour Rich Nevis? When me start to watch the face of them, I the same old happy people, you know? Run down and sink it. So imagine you spend PLP money Friday, and by Monday you turn Labour. Go and sink it, and down there try to friend up. Nobody a bigger Labour than them now. And I'm so glad that Juna studied them. Juna studied them. Because I am saying that we understand real from fake. That's why me love to be in Bath, you know. If you tell bad people in stupidness, them tell you straight about stupidness, you tell them. Them understand real from fake. And that is why, ladies and gentlemen, I am saying you have a good team, stick with that team. Imagine that under the leadership of the CCM, 5 years in office, and public servants get a double salary 4 out of the 5 years. Imagine that non-established workers used to work in government for 30 and 40 years and go home with nothing. We heard the cries. And now we have put in place since the 1st of September this year a retirement package for non-established workers. It means that now when they go home, they're going home with something. Imagine that we have given a 15% salary increase to public servants. They don't get 5 retroactive to January 1st. They're going to get another 5 in 3 weeks. Just over 3 weeks on January 1st. And another 5 on the 1st of January 2024. And I don't care what them say. I don't care what them do. I don't care how them kick up and squinge up and do all that they do. I will be the Premier of Nevis on January 1st, 2023, and the Premier of Nevis on January 1st, 2024. Once the good Lord gives us strength and health and life, this Concerned Citizens Movement will continue to represent the people of Nevis. And so on December 12th, I want you to go out in your numbers, Bath Village. Go out. What I like about you, you saw me when I started, you see me now. And you know, I was the same then as I am now, a man of the people. Me walk anywhere in Bath. Sit down anywhere in Bath. I was in Bath today. I'm back here tonight. Of course, a barbecue in Bath. I am one of you, and you have embraced me. And I love Bath Village. That's why I said the metropolis of Bath. And we are going to be back tomorrow, a big domino tournament here, you know, with some money to be won. We like to do things in Bath because Bath people are genuine people. That is why when December 12th rolls around, it will be a Monday. It will be a day that the Lord would have made. And all of us will go out in our numbers and we will ensure that we keep Nevis in safe hands, stable hands. You have seen us at work. You saw how we handled the COVID pandemic. And when we reached out to the NRP and asked them to join us, they said, no, we will not join with you to save lives. No love for Nevis. None. And that is why I'm saying that when Monday the 12th comes, go out, vote for CCM, vote in your numbers. You have a good government, stick with that government. I was on a show in St. Kitts, and I said to them, one of the things with all the roads and double salary and salary increase and retirement package and all of the major accomplishments that we would have done, one of the things that I'm most proud of is that for the time that we entered government under Vance Amory again in 2013, and we had an election in 2017, and the people were exceedingly good to us. They gave us 4 of the 5 seats. That nobody has ever been able to point a finger at the CCM with any allegation of corruption. I am here tonight to say that Honorable Alexis Jeffers, Honorable Eric Evelyn, Honorable Spencer Brand, Honorable Latoya Jones, and the Honorable Mark Brantley represent a team who can stand in any forum and say before God and man, our hands and our hearts are clean. And I know a lot of them can't say that. That is why I keep saying on this platform we need not say bad things about the candidates for the NRP. Because you all know them, and we know them, and we know who them be, so we not got to light no candle to look for them. Are you at about check? You say you got a new song, or you say check through the window? They say Alexis named Pepper Seed. Me not no Pepper Seed, so me leave I with a check. All I'm saying, you know them. And we not got to say a thing about them because all of you know them. And that is why we are focused on our message. Bath Village, we're going to finish this road soon. And we're going to do the rest too. People of Bath, you're going to get work dealing with that because our policies you must benefit. We have said that we're going to do that road from Long Point all the way around to Gingerland, to open up that entire south coast of Nevis. I talk about that project because I see it as revolutionary. On the 9th of December, the CDB board in Barbados will meet, where they will consider some $18 million for the geothermal project. I want to come back and report to you on what that meeting said. And I'm hopeful that we come back with good news. We said the 6th farm must move from where it is. And we have to find a home for the community college for Nevis. The Honorable Troy Liebert has been crying out for it for some time. It has to be done. The airport, Alexis spoke about it. It must be done because we must have an airport that sees activity again. This seaport right here in Long Point, we want a cruise port there, and we want to expand the cargo. We have some major plans for this island of Nevis. Major plans in the next term. And you have seen us at work. I wonder sometimes when I sleep at nights and I wake at 3 in the morning, and I am going through my mind, and my mind is working, what else can we do? I reflect and I say, where would Nevis have been if it wasn't for COVID? Because in 2019, when we had our budget, the fellas will tell you that we were on top of the world. We were already spending money that we don't make yet. Because all the hotels were telling us they were full. Business was coming. Listen, let me share something with you all in Bath tonight. You know the call center closed down suddenly. 200 plus people out of work overnight. There was a gentleman who wanted to rent the call center to bring a business there, another call center. And just to tell you, when sometimes things go wrong, things go wrong. The man was coming from, I think it was Philadelphia or someplace like that. And he had to transit in Miami. When he's in the airport in Miami to take the flight to St. Kitts is when we close the borders. And the man called and he said, what should I do? I said, what are you going to do? Go home. You can't land in St. Kitts, so you must go home. And after that, I called him several times. He said, because of the pandemic, the whole business changed. Can't come again. That is what we had to deal with. But guess what? We were steady. We were steadfast. We trusted in each other. We trusted in the Almighty God. And today, here we are in 2022, and Nevis is rising again. And Nevis will continue to rise with good leadership. Leadership that understands and empathizes and works with you. And the only leadership that has demonstrated that is the Concerned Citizens Movement. So don't worry about them. Don't disrespect them when they come. But tell them that cussing Mark Brantley is not a campaign. Cussing Alexis Jeffers and Eric Evelyn and Spencer Brand and cussing Latoya Jones, it is not a campaign. Because as Latoya reminded us just last night, she said cussing never create one job yet. Cussing never fix one road yet. Cussing never build one house yet. And cussing ain't help a soul. Me know bad people, and all of you in bad got PhD in cussing. All of us could cuss and Nevis people, how we be. But it does not help advance our country. And we are all about the advancement, and that is why we're talking about our plans. What we propose. We are listening. I was up in Hamilton, a young lady said to me that daycare is a problem for people who are not earning a lot of money. They have their children, and when she said to me that for 2 children she has to pay $800 a month. And she said, why is it we don't have government daycare? And you know what I said to her? That is a brilliant idea. And we are committing that in the next term we will have at least one government daycare to accommodate people in lower income brackets who are having problems maintaining their children. It's a government that cares, a government that is listening, a government that responds. Before I leave, you all have seen and heard about the investment in new generators at Nevlec. We are proud of that because we are keeping the lights on. But you all also would have known that we had a crisis in terms of the price of oil. And people were having to pay a fuel surcharge, which many found crippling. Again, we listened. We consulted. We discussed. And at the end of the day, we came up with a solution that has removed 100% of the surcharge from our households and kept it at 65 cents for our businesses. And when I see people in the supermarket come up and hug me and tell me it's the lowest electricity bill they have had in years, I say, to God be the glory. Great things he has done. Great things he continues to do. And he uses imperfect vessels, such as the men and women in the CCM, to carry out his purpose. And that is why we are proud to stand here in Bard Village and say, Bard Village, Bard Village, Bard Village, St. John's, St. John's. It is only the Concerned Citizens Movement. And so whether it is St. Paul's number 1, St. George number 3, St. James number 4, St. Thomas is number 5, or St. John's number 2. It is all 5 for the Concerned Citizens Movement. Because we are being listened to throughout the world, I cannot leave the platform without saying to you, CCM, 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 are you ready? Well, let me hear you make some noise. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you. Tomorrow we are all the way up in Rollins. We invite you to come and join us. The momentum, we're increasing it, we're keeping it, and we're keeping our people front and center. That is my quarter. Thank you, good night, and God bless you. Election day, December 12th, go out and vote for the Concerned Citizens Movement. Good night, Bard Village. Thank you for having us. God bless you.